Entire neighborhoods going bank owned. Hey everybody, Scott Walters, buckle up, strap in. I got a hard hitting, pull no punches, no sugarcoating it, no rainbows, no sunshine. I'm just going to give it to you and give it to you straight. We got a good one to unpackage today, my friends. Welcome to the show. Buckle up and strap in. If you're new, please subscribe. Subscribe right away as we raise awareness. Ring the bell, sound the alarm. Let people know. The biggest artificially created housing bubble with no organic growth, overnight appreciation to never seen before highs was fake. It couldn't sustain itself. And now the blowback, we've talked about this so many times. We tackle the U.S. housing market here because it's the biggest asset class in the world. When we lose it, we will lose everything. It will be a vacuum that takes everything along for the ride. But I've always said this is much bigger than the housing market. And we see the blowback that's now occurring. We see the banks starting to fail. We see the stock market starting to fail. We see the crypto market starting to fail. We see Americans, if not people all around the globe, unable to keep up with this inflationary war that's now the hidden enemy that we're fighting. And the realities are we could have avoided a lot of this. The doubling of money in circulation, courtesy of stimulus measures, stimulus money, and stimulus programs, whether it's eviction bans or mortgage forbearance or unemployment benefits or just money sent to the doorstep or overheating, making real estate agents essential workers. That's the one that really bothers me because I'm an agent, love being a real estate agent. But sometimes I just said, gosh, are you kidding me? Like, this is not normal. And then the industry normalizing it. I'm like, gosh, I feel like a rogue agent out here letting people know this is a bubble and it's not going to, no, Scott, this time is different. The last bubble is due to loose lending and this, I don't care. This time is worse. This time is worse. So if we're forward thinking, critical thinking, which is always the point of this channel, anybody can tell you what happened. Anybody can tell you what's happening now. We want to know what's going to happen. How much of this, of our attention should it have right now? And it has my full and undivided attention, clearly. But I've always said, I'll be willing to put people on the sidelines, earn their business later. Rich people didn't get rich buying at the height of a bubble. They got rich buying outside the bubble. And so now we're outside the bubble. Now it just becomes how far does it have to go? And we all know real estate's local. All areas will behave a little differently. We'll heat map and temperature check all different areas to see if they pencil out. Cost to carry versus what its rent range is. Is it a safe investment or not? That's all we need to know. Very easy. And we've been looking at very, easy ways that we can monitor that. And I have agents. We've talked about this. If you need an agent, you want to examine your area to see if there's buying opportunity, or reach out to us and we'll get you in the hands of not any agent, the highest rated agent in your area, with me on board. So I think if that's resonated with you, congratulations. That's what we're going to continue to do. If you're new, please subscribe. Subscribe right away. Never been a more important time in history to get centered and surrounded with like-minded people. But if we're forward thinking, critical thinking, I think what we should probably expect at this point, and here's why. Anytime a housing market has exhibited bubble behavior, they've in fact crashed. So there's just that. I mean, I don't care. Like I say, throw the playbook out the window. The data's not going to save you on this one. It's not going to be supply or demand or this and that. We got into a bubble, and historically, not 1% of the time, not 2% of the time, 100% of the time, they have crashed. So crash coming, it's now not if anymore, it's purely when. We're seeing a lot of areas already demonstrate that crash behavior. Some areas are going to be slightly more resilient, but I think everybody gets dragged along for the ride. And because we know this is much bigger than real estate, we're one bank failure away from bank runs, and then here we are in the Great Depression all over again, repeating itself or some version of it. These are realistic scenarios and potentially expectations that a lot of top economists are actually predicting. Our job is always to be, hope for the best, prepare for the worst, come out somewhere in the middle. Don't be that deer in the headlights, paralyzed by fear, unable to operate within it efficiently. That's our job. Because if we halfway expect what's coming, it'll be less. We'll be able to operate much more efficiently. So my job has always been able to just let's get forward thinking, critical thinking. So if and when these things play out and put a percentage of likelihood on them playing out, we'll be less blindsided by it if and when it plays out. It's like, oh my gosh, I can't believe this. You're living through historical times. We all are. And I've lived through the Great Recession, which is one of the reasons I'm here with you today, and suffered some of the blowback from that. And I don't regret it anymore, but I certainly don't want to go back and repeat it over expecting a different result, which is what people did in this bubble, because that's in fact the definition of insanity, doing the same thing over and over, expecting a different result. And that's what I saw out of this bubble, another bubble. But this time was going to be different. It's not different. It's worse. It's worse. So moving forward, friends, I think really what we have to understand now, for me personally, now I could be wrong. This is just a guy like you or, and a lot of you out there, just a regular guy out here that didn't pass the smell test. I just happen to work in the industry and have done the things we just talked about, been through a bubble before. The areas, this is what's going to happen. Like if I was a betting man, which I'm not, this is what's up. Any of these areas that broke ground and started building neighborhoods, spec homes, planned developments in the euphoria, in the crisis, they broke ground and then interest rate hikes came and they got stuck with unfinished homes. They're out there right now trying to build these homes. They're virtual ghost towns already. We've reported on those model homes that with the sales offices. They're ghost towns. They can't get anybody. They're trying everything. This rate buy down is just another adjustable rate mortgage like we did have in 2008, which was a huge culprit in the formulation of that bubble. It's usually a sign of desperation. In fact, in the 08 era bubble, we didn't see really arms ushered in until the market started to cool off to try to keep the bubble alive, apparently. It's very short-sighted. It is very dangerous. And the thing is that these builders that were greedy, that drank the Kool-Aid, and they're out there building these homes, they're stuck with tons of homes and they're slashing prices. The people that bought the first homes of those developments paid much more than the people that are in there buying now or recently. So it's not fun to watch people buy the exact same home that you bought for less money. And even if you had that low interest rate now, even with a higher interest rate, they're still have the same payment as the people with the low interest rate because the prices are falling. And so what we're going to see now, if and when, and I really believe it's when, which areas are in the biggest trouble? It's the areas that all had what I've coined as bubble buyers. You see, if you have an existing neighborhood and somebody bought a new home in there, but the majority of those homes are people that have owned those homes for many years, that area might be slightly insulated from some of the blowback. But when every single home in a neighborhood is 100% people that bought at the height of a bubble, but not just any bubble, the biggest bubble ever produced in world history, and we're seeing the reports now of the U.S. savings rate being at an all-time low. We've never had the U.S. savings rate, meaning people have no money right now like never before. Also, U.S. debt at an all-time high. These are two very, very alarming stats for people that just bought homes, are out of money, living on credit cards, trying to hang on to these homes. The writing is on the wall. These dominoes are going to start to fall. I've seen, and I've probably even showed on the channel, if you're new, jump in and watch past videos. Previous bubble, like the 08 era, where they did the same thing. Builders piled in, but they had maybe 4 phases of construction. First phase got built, second phase got built, maybe even third phase. Fourth never happened. It's just a street, dead ends, and there's just unfinished lots. Now, people will start losing homes. It's going to start in the areas where everybody bought. All your neighbors are bubble buyers. They're going to be rows, streets full of for sale signs first. Then it's going to go short sale signs, and then it's going to go foreclosure signs, and then it's going to go bank-owned signs. You're going to see these brand new FOMO factory neighborhoods be full-on foreclosure festival, foreclosure factory neighborhoods. It's going to be a foreclosure factory big time. That's what we can expect if this recession, which appears now to be ushered in on purpose, not an unfortunate byproduct of inflation. It's actually being ushered in on purpose. That is the goal. Put the economy in a recession. Now, the narrative's like, hey, we still see a robust job market. Well, of course we do. We had a reopening occur where people were unable to work. Now we have a lot of jobs available to fill. Unfortunately, that's not what the government wants. We know they're targeting the job market. How do we get people to stop spending? We make them lose their jobs. And which job sectors are getting hit? The white collar wage earning jobs. The only jobs that are currently available in these robust job numbers are service sector jobs to speak of. Service sector people rent homes. White collar wage earners buy home. All these foreclosure festival factory neighborhoods are all full of white collar wage earners. They're running on fumes, they're living on credit cards, and many of them are starting to lose their jobs. This thing has disaster written all over it on many, many levels. In final thoughts, I come to you as a friend, as a content creator. Somebody wants to see you not only win in real estate, win in life. Understanding the biggest artificially created housing bubble ever produced in world history could not sustain itself. If we're forward thinking, critical thinking, we got to get ahead of the curve, expect the unexpected, understand which areas are going to get hit. My expectation personally, and these are just mine, hopefully what I've said here today has made at least a little bit of sense to the point where you, now if it happens, you can halfway have expected it. You're not going to be like millions of people that are just blindsided by this, paralyzed by fear, in complete desperation mode. Correction, recession, depression, 3 levels of an economic downturn. We're in the correction phase right now. It's, my opinion, just a matter of time. As soon as the leadership accomplishes their goal of increasing unemployment numbers, then they can officially announce that recession they're probably waiting to announce. Just buying time, doing whatever they can. It's our job to be forward thinking. If you're targeting homes right now to buy, make sure they pencil out. Cost to carry with a traditional mortgage at today's interest rate is below what it would rent for. Adding that buffer for yourself. The FOMO factories won't pencil out yet. My anticipation is within a year from today, we're going to see those dominoes fall, and we're going to see those areas start to pencil out too. Stay tuned as I blow the lid off it every step of the way, because it's not only what we need, it's in fact what we deserve. If you appreciate the content, I want to humbly ask you to give the video a like, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment below. I'd love to hear from you. Social media links in the description of this video if you'd like to contact me there, along with links to channels I've appeared on I think you might enjoy. If you need help buying or selling real estate here in America, I have the biggest network of top-rated agents in the nation ready to assist you. It'd be our honor and our privilege to do so. Email in the description for you as well. Also, if you're watching from your television set today and you enjoyed this video, I know you're going to love the next video, and there's an easy subscribe icon for your convenience. As always, thank you for your time. Please go make it count today, and I'll see you on the next video.